Okay. We are calling the 2 p.m. public hearing on budget to order. This is the 2024-2025 fiscal year budget as proposed by the town manager and superintendent of schools. Roll call, Mr. Davidoff.
Yes, good afternoon, Madam Mayor. Counselor Blanks.
Present.
Mayor Cantor.
Here.
Counselor Cortez.
Here.
Counselor Fay.
Present.
Counselor McGinnis.
Present.
Counselor Poland.
Here.
Counselor Walters.
Here.
Deputy Mayor Winograd. Counselor Zdanowitz.
Here.
Thank you, Mr. Davidoff. Mr. Winograd is currently traveling, and he will be watching the comments. He was actually going to be on the screen, and we thought it would be better to remove the screen, so he is going to be listening in. So this is a public comment. Mr. Clerk, have you received any comments?
Madam Mayor, we have not received any written comments since the last public hearing on the budget.
Okay, we will go to the sign-up sheet, and this is again regarding this proposed budget. You have 3 minutes to speak. If we, so we use that, especially if we have a lot of people, we can be a little more flexible with less people. We don't go back and forth. We receive your comments, and it's just a one-way communication. So we will start with Gary Muldoon.
Yes, Gary Muldoon, 94 Ledgewood Road. Just like to start off by saying I respect everybody, police, and also the police department, the fire department, all you people for all the work you do and everything like that. But there's some issues, and it is the taxes. I mean, Mayor Cantor always says this is, it is. I've lived here for 40-something years. I love West Hartford. It's a great town. But I see that the taxes are just getting out of control, and they have been. In the meantime, we've had services cut. Since I've been here, we had so many services cut, leaf collection, bulk collection, things like that. Everything gets cut, yet the taxes continue to skyrocket, as far as I'm concerned. This town is one of the highest tax towns in the state. In the 40, when you're getting to the 40 mill rate, you're high. And I can't specifically say, and that's why you don't get too many people, you can't say specifically what needs to be cut or what we can do. But last time I was here, I just talked about the overtime with the police department, fire department. And 2 weeks later, somebody wrote an article in the paper. I have it right here if anybody wants to take a look at it. It's pretty eye-opening, really eye-popping. This is just the police department, the fire department, never mind the public works department. This is just overtime. And not to say they don't do a good job. They do a good job, but this is a little, and like I said, as much as I respect these people, this seems to be, some of these things seem to be over the top. And that's just one of the examples that's going on in West Hartford. In the meantime, we're always, like I said, cutting services or being nickel and diamond. Like I signed up for my golf membership the other day, which is a good deal. But they cut off letting us use the Buena Vista. What are you going to gain by that? I'm not going to play Buena Vista now. So if they thought they were going to gain anything by it, again, this is just nickel and dime stuff, you know? And like I say, and as being a union worker too, this is another thing. This town never goes for project or labor agreements, which would be all union contracts. You're so concerned about paying everybody these big bucks and things like that, but when it comes to union workers, they get cut out. We never sign a project labor agreement. I've never mentioned that before because I had to watch, as non-union, did my work at some of these schools and things like that. And we just never get a break that way. But in the meantime, we always say, well, this is in the union contract. Because when I say about, well, why do we have some? Well, they have that union. The union has that in their contract. Well, the union has this in their contract. And I'm saying, how do they get in that? They get that in their contract? Shouldn't we be in charge of how many people we need? How many people we need as staff? This is ridiculous. But like I said, I have this article. If you people want to take a look at it, you should have seen it, I'm sure. And like I said, it's a little eye-opening to tell you the truth. And this is just an example. This doesn't include, the Public Works Department or a lot of other things that go on in town. So I think the town couldn't do a lot better because I do believe that the only thing that you can complain about in West Hartford is the taxes. They are exceptionally high. It's not a bargain.
Thank you, Mr. Muldoon. If you want to leave it with Mr. Ledwith, we can have copy unless you want to save, I don't know, but make sure everybody gets it.
No, it's
Okay, and next signed up is Beth Rocco.
Hello, I want to thank the town for I think, 473-page budget. Um, I'm going to touch on a couple of things that I'd like to congratulate you on, and then I'd like to ask a couple of questions, maybe like this other gentleman did, just on things that maybe we can look at. So, as a member of the Senior Advisory Commission, I thank you for the approval of the senior bus. And I think it's pretty clear how you've outlined the allocation for the new Elmwood Center, so thank you. I also was, and I think our commission should have been a little bit more aware of this, the Community Development Block Fund grant from HUD, Housing and Urban Development. I don't know who administrates that, but apparently 13 people were approved, and 8 seniors had housing rehab done at an average cost of $23,000. So from the seniors' point of view, thank you for that. The other thing that I was happy to read is that we now have wireless available at 75% of our town parks. As you know, I'm a retired physician. I have a question in my pickleball outings. I live in Buena Vista. The cell service is terrible. Is there wireless service at the Buena Vista tennis and pickleball courts? Because it could mean a life and death matter, and I don't know how you do that strictly outside, but it is a very poor cell service area. In my looking at the town budget, and these are my questions, and you know they're always a little bit pointed because I was here last year and Mr. Ledwith did graciously get back to me. Can anything be done to control the health benefits program? Program expenses have gone from $757,000 to $1,216,000. It's a 60% increase. The other increase that I don't really understand, and maybe somebody can take me aside in the future, we have a unassigned fund balance. And the description was, this is when revenue exceeds expenditures. So I kind of have labeled it a little bit like a rainy day fund. I'm not sure. But in 2014, your graph shows that we were at 8.1%, and now we're at 9.9%. And mathematically, I would like to understand, is it going up because we have more leftovers every year, or is it going up because this past year, the stock market did well?
Ms. Rocco, the 3-minute mark, but continue to finish, but just keep in mind that we're,
Okay.
oh, thank you.
I also don't know if we need to keep increasing this because that helps our bond ratings. I don't know. It's a reserve thing. But I didn't have the explanation for that. And the only other point I wanted to bring to light was a little bit what this gentleman touched on. I'm really happy we have 157 full-time policemen. But you then see it divided into divisions, and I understand there's 41 crossing guards and 8 traffic control people. But do we really need 22 detectives? That was my question, because I don't know what the delineation of labor is. And when I looked at Bristol and a recommendation for how many policemen, I guess total, should be in a town of this size, it says between 100 and 145, and believe me, I don't mind having, some extras. So I think that benchmark is fine. But I just question, do we have that many detectives needed to be working on crime cases? I just don't know. Thank you very much for letting me speak.
Thank you, Ms. Rocco. The next person I have signed up to speak, and I'm sorry I am having trouble reading your first name, Clairzier Philippe, but please.
Hello, everybody. My name is Glazier Philip, and I'm from 52 Manchester Circle. It's more about like schools. I have two kids. One is 7, and one is 4. And one of them is at Webster, and the other one is in Hartford. I just cannot understand how it's work because I have two kids, and they're small kids, and one get in, one doesn't, and I have to go and find where to put them. Like it would make more sense if you have two kids where the two kids can go to the same school. Now every day after I drop them up to school, it's like one to Webster and one in Hartford. That is actually a lot of work to go back and forth to every day. And the other thing is also, I would like, I'm trying to understand how the taxes work exactly because I moved here in 2020 and we bought a home in 2022. And so far, I got 3 increases of taxes. I don't understand how it's work. I don't understand why is it keep going up. And the last time I talked to somebody, they said to me that, well, we put a lot of money in education and school. My questions was, okay, but I have two kids. I don't have 10 or 15, but only one can go, the other one can't. This year we find out for the other one to go to preschool, we have to pay an extra 2,600 something dollars, which is $263 a month. That's an extra, money we have to pay out. On top of it, our property taxes, we just get a letter saying it's gonna be increased. Now, for us, that money could go toward our property taxes. But if we put our kid in Webster, that money gonna have to go to the school, and which mean one of them is not gonna be able to take care of. I just would like to find, to understand how does that work exactly. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Philippe. And if you want to stay, we can talk to you offline after the hearing is closed. Is there anybody, that's all we had on the sign-up sheet. Is there anybody here that would like to please come up and state your name and address?
Hi, Diana Sousa Jepson, 995 Prospect Avenue. And first, I just want to thank you all. I thought it was a great budget this year. And like the others, I kind of poured through the hundreds of pages. And just one thing I wanted to ask, our high schools are in dire need of updates and renovations. There was just the reopening of the Norwalk High School in Fairfield County using some state money, and I don't know, probably federal money also. And I'm wondering, if you can just look, and I know it's so hard, everything's so tight, and as everyone has already said, but to continue to invest in our high schools. When we go across the state and go to games at other high schools, our schools are woefully behind. I'm a product of Bugby, King Philip, and Hall, and I don't think Hall has changed at all since I was there. Kind of crazy because I went 150 years ago. So if you could just take one last look at that capital investment budget for the schools, I would greatly appreciate that, especially with climate change going on. The schools need air conditioning, upgrading of many, many things. So thank you for that.
Thank you, Ms. Jepson. Anybody else?
John Lyons, 21 Chestnut Hill Road, West Hartford, Connecticut. Madam Mayor, councilors, and town manager, yes. First I want to point out to Mr. Ledwith, he was nice enough to come to zoning the other night and do a budget presentation for us. And it really sent the point home, the heavy lifting that him and his team and you folks do. So I just want to say thank you for that. And just want to say I support all of your efforts. I know you work tirelessly, all of you, to keep our taxes down, to keep this budget as lean as possible while providing as many services as for the town. So I wanted to let you know I'm behind you and appreciate all of your efforts. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lyons. Anybody else? Okay, we will probably wait a couple more minutes and then close the public hearing if there's no more comments. Okay, it is now a little after 2:15. I don't see anybody coming in. Once we close the public hearing, we can't take further comments. So if you missed this for some reason and you're listening or you're frustrated you can't get here, please write in, email the town clerk, and we will all get a copy of your information, your email, whatever. And we can have a dialogue. There can be a back and forth via email. Thank you so much, and I appreciate everybody that came out to speak. And right now, we will close the public hearing. Is there any objection? Public hearing is closed. Thank you.